The prophet Isaiah opens with a cosmic trial. God bypasses human courts entirely and summons the heavens and the earth to act as the ultimate jury for a tragedy unfolding in Judah. The charge is direct. God reared these people during the reigns of kings like Uzziah, but they devolved into a brood of evildoers. The irony is tragic. An ox knows its master, but Israel has lost that basic understanding. The nation has walked away from the very source of its existence. That level of systemic corruption triggers a cosmic level reckoning. The text moves from the spiritual charges to the physical reality. Isaiah describes the nation's internal rot as a severe medical emergency, untreated wounds, welts, and open sores covering the entire body from head to foot. We see the macro-level impact of this disease on the landscape itself. The country is desolate, the cities are burned out with fire, and foreign invaders are actively stripping the fields bare. They are standing on the absolute brink of annihilation. Isaiah notes that if God hadn't spared a tiny handful of survivors, the entire nation would have been wiped completely off the map, identical to the ruins of Sodom and Gomorrah. The nation has reached a terminal tipping point. The question now is how they plan to stop the bleeding, and whether their chosen remedy will actually work. Facing systemic collapse, the leaders of Judah attempt a desperate cure. They double down on outward religious performance, organizing massive festivals and burning endless clouds of incense. The volume of their effort is staggering. The altars are overflowing with a multitude of sacrifices, rams, fattened animals, and rivers of blood from bulls and goats. But here, the text reveals a shocking rejection. God refuses the entire spectacle. He calls their offerings meaningless, and plainly states he hates these festivals. They have become a burden. Even their most fervent prayers face a closed door. Heaven is ignoring them. The hands they lift in prayer are covered in blood. When a society's foundation is morally bankrupt, outward religious performance acts as an offensive mask, layered on top to hide the true disease. Isaiah identifies the root cause of this breakdown. The rulers themselves are rebels. They operate as partners with thieves, constantly chasing down bribes instead of leading their people. This city used to be a faithful stronghold of justice. Now it operates as a haven for murderers, where the most vulnerable, the fatherless and the widow, cannot even get their cases heard in court. God introduces the only acceptable treatment plan. The mandate is entirely practical. Wash your hands, learn to do right, seek justice, and actively defend the oppressed. Ultimately, true faithfulness is measured strictly by how a society protects its most vulnerable citizens in the streets. God presents a radical plea-deal in verse 18. Even though their sins are stained a deep scarlet, they can be washed perfectly white as snow. But if they persist in rebellion, they will be devoured by the sword. To achieve this restoration, God employs the metaphor of a refiner's fire. The city must endure intense heat to burn away the corrupt elements, forcefully purging the dross so only the pure silver remains. For the corrupt leaders who reject this purification, the fate is sealed. They will wither away, becoming like dry, fading oaks in a garden without water. Their own stubbornness triggers the violence. The mighty men and their corrupt works will act as a spark, igniting and burning together with absolutely no one left to put out the fire. But for the survivors who endure the heat, the outcome is total restoration. The dross is gone, and the capital will finally be called the City of Righteousness. Survival requires uncorrupted justice. Without it, all the wealth, power, and religious infrastructure a nation can build are nothing more than dry wood, waiting for a spark.